So good afternoon. So thanks to everyone who joined us this morning for the Easter egg hunt. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. It's a really nice fundraising opportunity for us. Really happy with how that's going. So we have got a little competition going. So if you have a look at our last post, it's explained on there in a picture as well. So we've raised, I think, about £300 this morning with that. So that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much to everyone who's done that. So now we've got a nice little talk about the red pandas, which I know a lot of you have been waiting for, with Matt. So Matt is our head of mammals, and I'll give over to him. And like I said, like we had with the tapirs, if you've got any questions, ask them down here, and I'll keep an eye on them, and we'll go through them afterwards. Over to you, Matt.
Hi guys, happy Easter to you all. So if you've been to the park before, you would have seen our two beautiful pandas that we've got here. So the one that is down with me at the moment is May Shan. She is 6 years old, and she's been with us since she was about 9 months old. She was born at Colchester Zoo. And then over the back there near the tree, we've got our male Yuzu. Some of you may not have seen Yuzu if you've not been to the park recently. Come in, mate. Everybody wants to see you. Here's a good girl. Good girl. So Yuzu, come on. He's a little bit camera shy at the moment. Yuzu is 3 years old, and he was actually born in Italy. Then he was moved to France, and now he finds himself in sunny Wingham. So the plan is that these guys are on the breeding program, and when the time is right, hopefully these guys may have some babies. So May has had some babies before. So again, if you've been to the park before, you would have seen our two cubs that we got, and they were called Hugo and Kush. They were moved on to another zoo in Europe at Gaia Zoo, and that's where they are now. Hello, Yuzu. Yuzu's come down to say hello. Yuzu normally takes the fruit and then he does go off with it. No, yeah. He should be back, but he's a little bit camera shy, whereas May is an Essex girl and doesn't mind the cameras whatsoever. Do you? So yeah, so the boys, the babies, are at Gaia Zoo now. They're about 4.
I think they've actually moved on from there now. So Gaia Zoo, originally they were going to set up a bachelor group, so they've got a massive enclosure there, which they were moving into with, I think, was it 2 other boys? It was, wasn't it? So there's 4 of them all together. I don't think it worked out. They didn't get on quite as well as everyone was hoping. So I think they're actually now going to have a breeding group there instead. I think at least one of our boys has moved on from there. Maybe the other one's one of the ones that's staying there.
So all being well, if Yuzu decides to wine and dine May, then we may have some more babies on the way, but obviously it is up to them whether they want to start their own family. So May, as I said, has been with us for a few years now. She's actually had 2 boyfriends prior to Yuzu, through no fault of her own actually. Because they're a part of the breeding program, animals do get moved around in Europe, because as I said, we are a part of the European breeding program. So our first male was Jasper. You may remember Jasper. He was moved up to Banham Zoo in Norfolk, and we got their male in return, which was Raimundo. Sadly, in 2017, Raimundo passed away, so May was on her own for a little bit, and I did get a lot of concern as to May being on her own. However, red pandas in the wild are a solitary animal, so actually they would be found on their own. And obviously she had us to look after her, so she was never on her own. But they are actually a solitary animal. Enjoying her pair. So then, obviously, in July last year, Yuzu came to us, and everything seems to be going well so far. So touch wood, we may have some babies on the way whenever the time is right. So these guys sadly are classed as endangered now. So that means that there are a lot less than 10,000 red pandas in the wild. As you can see, Mei Shan's got a lovely colour fur on her, coat on her. Sadly, people are hunting red pandas for this fur to make hats, clothes, scarves, all sorts of silly things out of them. And hopefully you'll all agree with me that red panda fur looks better and at its best on a live animal itself. You cannot beat that at all. Good girl. You going to take that? Thinking about it, if I must. Come on. No. So she's not silly, she knows that I've got one last bit of pear in the bowl. So other reasons as to why they are becoming more endangered, so habitat loss. Yuzu's gone back up in the tree. Pandas will be found up high in trees or in thick, dense bamboo thickets. Sadly, we are cutting down their habitat as well for logging and farmers to make room for their livestock to go through. So habitat loss is another massive reason. And then lastly, the pet trade as well. She does look beautiful, and she is probably, well, I am biased, but she is the beautifulest, prettiest panda in the world, red panda. No one can beat that. But she is not a pet, she is a wild animal. She doesn't purr, she doesn't meow, she doesn't roll over, doesn't chase a stick, she doesn't bark. You probably get the gist of it. She is a wild animal, she's not a domesticated animal. So we do have a hands-off sort of policy here, although you can see I have been hand feeding her. Obviously that's the bond that I have with her, but I don't touch her, stroke her, pick her up, kiss her, cuddle her as much as I would like to. She will get no satisfaction out of it. It's only my selfish needs, so I just allow her and watch her from a little bit at a distance away.
So I'm just going to stop you for a second. I just want to say thank you to, I think it was Nat. So I discovered earlier where we've been having a lot of activity on our page. We now qualify for a few different things for being able to raise some extra money for the park. So if you watch this video back rather than the live stream later, you might see some adverts on there. So that's another way that while we're closed we've been able to get a little bit of an income stream for the park. And also, as we saw a second ago, there is an option now during these live streams for you to donate. I think they call them stars. I think each one of those is worth I think 1 cent or a penny or so. So it's just a way for us to able to get a few little donations coming from these streams as well. So thank you very much. And so we've always avoided sort of adverts and things on our videos so far, but at the moment it is a really handy way for us to be able to raise a few extra pounds. So that's all thanks to you guys. So the support that you've given us on Facebook by watching all these streams and things, that's what's made that possible for us. So thank you very much for making our page busy and giving us this little opportunity. Right, so I'll get back to Matt, and then I will at the end of this go through all those questions. I know a lot of you are asking questions, so we will answer those.
Right. So Yuzu's decided to come down and say hello now. You may see that they are a little bit lethargic today. It is quite warm, and pandas really are from places which are a lot cooler. Obviously they do molt a little bit. With the temperature as it is at the moment, haven't started their molt yet. So we do try and keep them. Go on, good lad. We try and keep them as happy and content as we can. We do put ice lollies, and we make our own air conditioning for them. So we try and put a frozen ice bottle under the straw in their nest boxes, which are these things here, and that does cool it down. But really the way that they cool themselves down is by going into the tree. Obviously the leaves are starting to come on the tree now, and they go in the middle where it is quite dense and cooler with all the leaves on it. Good lad, Yuzu, good boy.
Thanks, Leanne.
Yuzu's a lot bigger than May. I do get asked quite a lot, how can you tell them apart?
And
it
Sophie, thank you.
very
Sorry.
easy to tell them apart, but obviously I do work with them every day, so it's very easy for me. However, if you look at Yuzu's face, it is a lot whiter. Mei Shan's got a darker face, and generally the males are bigger than the females. Their personalities are very different. You've seen Mei will quite happily stay down here, whereas Yuzu at the moment will take it off of us and then is a little bit shyer and doesn't like the spotlight too much. So May's gone nice and high up in the tree. And then, good lad, Yuzu, good boy. So he's done really well since he's been here, and he's growing in confidence. So now he's finished all of his fruit. So in the bowl here I've got some panda cake, which is like a green goodness for them. It's full of vitamins, minerals, supplements, all goodness for them. A large part of their diet in the wild is bamboo, so about 95% of their diet is bamboo. We cannot give them as much bamboo as they would have in the wild. Obviously their habitat is dense thick bamboo thicket, so obviously supplements are needed to keep them nice and healthy. So the panda cake does that for them, but it's not sweet and as nice tasting as all the yummy fruit that they get. Look, there's no fruit at all in any of the bowls. Oh, he's come for that.
Thank you, Caroline.
Good boy.
What does it taste like, Matt?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Actually, on the packet, it does say not fit for human consumption. So I do class myself as a human, and it's not fit for me. So yeah, I can't eat it, I'm afraid.
It's probably to stop keepers greedily taking it because it's very expensive.
Yeah. But no, it's full of goodness for them. So it is really important that they eat it. They have adapted to eat lots of bamboo. The fruit, they can have it, but they've only got small teeth, although they're sharp. Obviously it is quite detrimental to their teeth if they eat just the fruit. May does like a nice pink lady apple. As I said, she is an Essex girl, so she is used to the finer things in life, being a sophisticated young lady that she is. So we try not to spoil her too much, but when she is the prettiest red panda in the world, it is very hard not to. But it is important that you give them a nice balanced diet. So they've both gone up in the tree now, so that probably means that they've had enough for the moment.
Yeah.
And they are very, very lazy animals. So the bamboo is not very energy efficient, so that means that they're eating lots and lots and lots of it, but not getting a great deal of energy from it. So when they're not eating, they are sleeping, and again, anybody that has seen them here at the park will know what they're like. They'll be up in the tree, fast asleep. But Yuzu's still licking himself off. Guys, you've had enough.
So thank you to everyone who's sending us those stars. It's really nice to see. So this is the first time that we've had that, and it's really nice to see those come up on the screen. We really appreciate those. It's put a big smile on my face. Right. Now then, shall we go through some of these questions? So it might take a little while, and if you're talking now, I might not see you for a little bit, 'cause I'm just going back to the start to try and catch up on these questions for Matt. I might answer a few as well, because I like having a chat with you. So with the... now I think I'm going to try and answer this one, but Matt can interject. So when they lose their partner, obviously it does make a difference to their routine. It does change their day a little bit, so they do obviously notice that they're no longer together, but I don't think they get sad for a long period of time as such. So I don't think they really mourn each other, because they are solitary in the wild, most solitary animals, they don't. It's only really animals that mate for life that mourn their partners or when they leave. Is that right? Or
Yeah, no. By May's behaviour when we lost Raymond, there was no change in it. You know, she didn't go off her food. There was no untoward behaviour that suggested that. So yeah, Marcus is right with that.
There's more, like I said, there's more something for animals that mate for life. Or ones that live in sort of family groups and things like that. Like, so elephants, for example, they mourn when they lose individuals from a group. Chimpanzees as well. So how long are they pregnant for?
So gestation is 4 months, between 4 and 5 months. It's not exactly 4 months, but just over 4 months, 4.3 months, I think, to be exact. But, yeah.
Are they particularly vocal? I don't think you hear them very often.
Yeah,
well, I don't, but
they do vocalise, but more to each other. I'm not going to try and do it because I can't. But they do. There are sort of hisses and high-pitched squeals and stuff like that. It's more around mating season, which is sort of January, February time that you'll hear it, and noises that we won't be able to hear.
So yeah, we're going to see the meerkats in a bit. We've actually got some enrichment for them, so Matt's going to do that for us in a little while. Well, I think once we've done these questions, we'll go over and see the meerkats. So we've already gone through what food they eat. This is mainly bamboo, and we supplement it with panda cake, which apparently is not fit for human consumption. So I think Matt's using that as an excuse to say why it doesn't know how it tastes. Like, people have said maybe it tastes like it smells.
No, pretty good. It's like a powder, and then we add water to it, mix it all together, and then, as I said, it does it. Now, every collection makes their panda cake differently. Some people make it into balls, some people, sprinkle it on, and I think that's down to individuals' taste. So our guys here, they do like it to be a little bit moist, not runny. You don't want it to be a gravy, and then we sprinkle it on, and then they eat down at it. But yeah, I wouldn't know what it tastes like, I'm afraid.
So with those stars, as I said, we've just started using those, and the money does go to us, so it goes to our account, but there are a couple of sort of very small minor money handling fees, for example PayPal when it comes in or so no different to what we pay when we bank money anyway. So as a business, we do pay for those sorts of charges as well. So other than that, the money does go direct to us. It's not getting split with Facebook half and half or anything like that. So those stars, it's something which, like I say, it's thanks to you that we're able to use those, because our page has been so active lately, with you guys sharing pictures that you've been doing and having a chat with us during these. It means that we are able to do those. The same as, like I said, once this stream is saved to the page, if people watch it back later, you might see some adverts on there, and that's all just a little bit of extra income that we can get in while the park is closed. Alright, so I don't think they're going to come down. I think I've caught up with all the questions. I think I might have skipped past it. I think someone said earlier, how long do they live for?
Can live up till 15 in captivity. I think the oldest has lived just beyond 20 in the wild. That, as I said earlier, they do have a lot of reasons as to why they're hunting and stuff. So 15 would be a very good age in the wild. So about 10 to 15 in the wild, and then 15, potentially 20 in captivity.
With donation, so we don't have a phone donation system, so it's like the ones where you can phone or text in. We don't have anything like that set up at the moment, but we have got a few different ways. We're always looking at different ways that you can help as well, because people do suggest things for us all the time. So you can donate through PayPal, and if you do that and look at our last pictures. Well, we've got a competition going for that at the moment as well, so you got a chance to get something back in return as well. We've got a GoFundMe page. You can donate to us through our online shop, and of course we've got the Amazon wish list, which is probably our most popular way at the moment, which is really nice as well, because it means that pretty much every day we get a delivery in, and it's stuff that's going direct to the animals. So rather than money, it's bedding or food, or for the keepers as well, we've got cleaning equipment. We've had teas and coffee sent over for the keepers, and some people have even been sending over little treats, sweets and things, which were completely unexpected. So we appreciate all of those things. The support we're getting is absolutely tremendous, so we really want to thank you. So here's one we know. So Scott Hewitt.
Oh, Scotty boy. Hello there.
He has asked, so Scott used to volunteer to work here.
He was a volunteer for a week, and then he was seasonal keeper.
Thought so,
He's
yeah.
probably going to put me on the spot here. So
No, he's just asked whether how Yuzu's temperament compares to other pandas that you've worked with. Because obviously Scott wasn't here when we got Yuzu, but I think he worked with some of the other pandas, isn't he? I think.
Yes, yeah. Good question, actually, Scott. So yeah, every panda is unique. So I've worked with obviously the babies, Yuzu, Raimundo, Jasper. He's a little bit wary, shyer I should say, but he's only what, 3 years now, so it's all new to him when he first came. And don't forget, I mean, he was born in Italy, and then he was moved to France. Now he finds himself in England, so he's probably used to lots of languages and maybe doesn't all understand them all. So yeah, so he is settled in, and he is settling in very nice. I mean, we do experiences here with him. He comes down, and as you've seen, he does come down, but he's different. But I think that's down to individuals rather than him personally. Every panda is different.
Yeah. So with his history as well, so it's not that he's been moved because he's a problem animal or anything like that. So he was born in Italy, and then naturally they moved out of their family group, so he went to a zoo in France, and there they set up a bachelor group. But again, the bachelor group there didn't work all that well. I think it's working all right with 2 at the moment, but they had 3 there, and he was, I think, the shyest one of the lot, so he wouldn't sort of stand up for himself. So he ended up being put in isolation for a little while they waited for a new home, and that's where he ended up coming to us. So it's not that he's a problem animal or anything like that, but the fact that he's shy is part of the reason I think why it didn't work with him in the bachelor group. What age do the cubs become independent?
So I mean, we moved our Hugo and Kush at 9 months old. So by about 6 months old, they really don't need mum anymore. They're eating their own foods, and I think May was quite happy when they did go, because they used to pull on her tail and stuff like that. So yeah, by sort of 6 to 9 months, certainly by 9 months, they potentially should be moved on, because they come sexually mature around 15 to 18 months. So yeah, by about 9 months, they tend to get moved on.
Cool. They're all coming out of the woodwork today, Matt.
Here we go.
So we've got your previous head of section, no, not head section, senior keeper, Meg.
Ah, hello, Meggie.
So Meg has asked if you've noticed, what do you think that Meg might be pregnant, or is she showing anything, or do we not know at all?
Shall I do it in Meg's accent? Or?
No.
Okay. So at the moment, as Meg knows, obviously it is quite hard to spot with pandas, just because there is a lot of fur. I mean, I'm hoping she is. We do weigh her, and the sort of her weight is not going down, it's sort of staying at constant or going up. So fingers crossed, it would be nice, but we can't predict anything just yet.
So what was the first animal at the wildlife park? So I can't answer that one because I wasn't here when the park first started, but I do know that it used to be just a bird park. So that's a really good question, Lexi. So it's just a bird park. I think the first animals that came in when it went from bird park to a wildlife park were the goats and deer. But yeah, it started off just with birds. So none of the red pandas are rescues. They're all part of the European breeding program. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll have a look at these meerkats and do them a little bit of enrichment. So I think earlier, Matt said he saw one of the meerkats. Did you say called Candy?
Candy, yeah.
So Candy the meerkat went for a little dip in the cleaning bucket, I think you said.
Yeah. Went for a little swim, or potential swim, which is a new behaviour for me because I don't really associate meerkats with water. So
Trying to lock me in.
Sorry, Marcus. Habit, you see. So what
I'll get you back. I've got a question from Heather.
Not Heather. They're all coming out the woodwork today.
Heather would like to know why you went red when I mentioned Megan's name.
It's very hot here at the moment. Yeah. I mean, this is a bit of a sun trap.
All right. So yeah, so it opened in 1986 here, and then that was, like I said, as a bird park, and it started off actually as a pet shop. Then they added on a tea room, and then it opened up as the bird park. Then in 2008 it was taken over by the current owners, so it's the Binskin family, and they've been doing an absolutely brilliant job with it. It's changed very, very much since then.
Come on, Candy, you going in? So this is Candy, the one nearest to it. So this is Candy here.
Is that the one that was born here?
Yeah, so that's the baby we had, or not so baby now.
How old is she now?
She is must be about 6 months old now.
I thought she's older now. Oh, cool. So swimming and things like that is not really usual behaviour, but when they show sort of little novel behaviours, we do like to see whether they enjoy those as part of their enrichment. So our keepers are always trying new and different things. She's having a drink at the moment.
Maybe she just wanted fresh water. 2 bowls of fresh water isn't enough today.
So just to let you know a little bit about our sort of back of house workings, when we have ideas for enrichment, what they do is the keepers will fill in a form. They'll explain exactly what it is they want to do, and if they've got plans and things, drawings, they will include those as well. They then get checked by people like Matt, so the heads of section, or our head keeper, or myself. If we've got any problems with them, because sometimes they do get a little bit too ambitious, we will see whether there's ways to simplify those ideas. And then what we do is we'll let them put them into action. But for the first at least 5 times that they use that enrichment, they have to make a note of whether it gets used, how excited they get, who uses it, what it's suitable for, so that we can see whether they actually enjoy it. If we find that they're not enjoying it after even just the first few times, what we'll say is that this isn't working. We'll keep that in the notes so that people know not to worry about doing that for those animals. Or other times they might say, yep, this is absolutely brilliant, let's try it with different animals. So just make sure that everything that we're doing, we're all on the same page. How many meerkats have we got?
5.
So we got 5 here.
Would you like me to tell you who's who?
Then we just go through the questions, and then we'll do a who's who of the meerkats. As far as I can tell, they all look the same. Let's have a look. So Mark, that's 2 different questions there, so they have different processes for each. So when it comes to danger, they're always all having a lookout, but they will usually have one fella nose up on one of these, and keeping a really good lookout. He will then signal to the others if there is a danger above. Earlier when I came down, I thought Matt was waving at someone in the sky. Turns out he was looking up because the meerkats were looking up and there was a buzzard up above. So we've never had a problem with birds of prey here, but the meerkats do know that buzzards are danger. And they do decide whether or not they like individuals who join the group, and putting a new meerkat into a group is very, very difficult. Often it does include a lot of fighting. Meerkats do fight a fair bit anyway because it is such a what's the word I'm looking for?
Territorial.
Yeah, they're very territorial.
Hierarchy as well.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
So they've got a strict hierarchy. So there is quite often a bit of fighting. So who's who?
So the one up high, who you showed earlier, is Amara.
So this is Amara.
And then the one just below, that's Candy.
Candy, so that's the young one.
And then one at my feet, this is Sandy.
So this is Sandy.
And then we've got one over at the wood chip, that's Kalia.
That's Kalia.
So they're all females. And then we've got Kovu, our male, just down.
And then that's
he's
Kovu.
Boy at the moment.
Cool. So that's all of them. No, so the enclosure in the sand, we keep it so that the type of sand we've got doesn't really allow them to make tunnels. They do dig around in it, and then at the bottom of that there's mesh, so they can't dig out. So what we do instead over there, we've got the wood chip, and that is a little bit firmer, so they can dig tunnels into that. So we do have tunnels there, but again, that goes down to the same mesh that's underneath here. But as you can see, it's probably about, what, 2 foot deep over there? Yeah. So they can dig down 2 foot over there, but they couldn't get out if they wanted to. Where are they from in the wild? So Kalahari, is it? Yeah. Which country is that? Is it Tanzania?
Yeah, and then not South Africa, just above that, isn't it?
Cool. Someone wants to know how you could tell the difference between them.
So, I mean, I've been here for a while now, so as I was saying with the pandas earlier, working with your animals every day, they are all different, and they all look different. Now, you're probably looking at all these meerkats now, and you'll probably think, well, they're all meerkats, but they actually, some are bigger, some are smaller, some have got longer noses, some have got shorter noses, some are a bit darker around the eyes. Much like us, really. We all look different, just like the animals here as well. So they are quite easy to tell apart, but I would say that because I work with them every day.
So hi Emily. So yeah, like someone said, they do have mealworms in their diet, and then we do also give them a we're just started a new diet with them, just to try and see if we can improve the breeding a bit. And so we now include, especially insectivore pellet. That's from Missouri Foods, I think. Yep. So sadly not one that we can put on the wish list. And they have a little bit of fruit and veg as well, don't they?
Fruit and veg, yeah.
So they used to have chicks in their diet, but we've taken those out. I think we've taken them out completely now, haven't we?
Yes, yeah.
So chicks are fairly high in fat, even if you do take out the egg sac as well. So we've cut that out of their diet. Do we think there's going to be any babies this year?
Probably not at the moment, just because Kovu is not as dominant as we want him to be, and with sort of the female hierarchy changing, at the moment there's not a female boss, if you like. The one that would probably be the most likely is Sandy, but they're not really spending much time with each other while we're here. Maybe overnight they are, but just have to watch this space.
How long have you been working with them?
So
With
I've been
me
here
again.
10 years, so they've been here since I've been here. So yeah, 10 years.
Cool, 10 years. So Matt and I started working here around the same time. I think I started just before him. So we've been here a similar sort of length of time. Alright. Well, my phone is not keeping up with these streams very well today. I nearly ran out of battery earlier, and I'm getting low again now, so I'm going to call it a day in a bit. So meerkats in the wild, as far as I'm aware, doing fairly well. I don't think that, obviously they are subject to a little bit of degradation of their habitat, just because people are moving into more and more parts of sort of the desert and the savannah, but they're not doing too bad. So correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but I believe the collective noun for meerkats is a mob?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a mob. So yeah, I know these things. So we have just done their name. So like I said, the battery is getting a little bit low on my phone, so you have to just go back a tiny bit in the video and you'll see them all then. And so again, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Now that we've got this star system as well, really appreciate those. And it's a nice little way for us to get some donations while we're closed, and then we've got the advert starting as well. Thank you to everyone who's buying things from the Amazon wish list and who's making donations. As I said earlier, if you head to the picture below this one, so if you go through, like I said, it's all on the picture below this post, but if you go to the PayPal page, so it's paypal.me/WWPSWP. It's £1 per entry to win an experience. So you just got to complete the little riddle which we left earlier. And the schedule for next week will be up by the end of today. I have started to have a look at it, but I'm just trying to finalise a few things just to see when will be the best days. While I'm doing that, if you've got any particular requests, put those in the comments below now, and I'll look at those when I get back to the office in 10 minutes or so, and I'll see whether there's any specific talks which I can fit in. I know that one thing we'll definitely do next week on one day is see the penguins with their bubbles. So the bubbles came, thank you to whoever bought that from the Amazon wish list. That's a nice little bit of enrichment for them, so that should be a fun little video. So thank you very much, and we'll see you again tomorrow. See what we got on for you.